I just checked my watch and it says it's time for the news. And if that's the case, you're in the right place. Because here at the Master Ball News Network, we cover everything Pokemon. Be it Go, TCG, VGC, Masters, Unite, if it has Pokemon in it, we are on top of it. We have a great episode for you, so be sure to stay tuned. First up, we have LOL Lemons with some Unite coverage.
Thank you. In Unite news this week, Sizzler has been released and is currently only available for purchase with Aeos Gems, but on October 6th will be available for purchase with Aeos Coins. Sizzler has the unique ability to either remain a Scyther or evolve into Sizzler in the match, depending on which moves you choose. Sizzler plays like a more traditional all-rounder, however Scyther has much higher mobility and plays like a typical speedster. Take advantage of their Technician ability by using basic attacks between move activations. With Sizzler, use Swords Dance along with basic attacks and Bullet Punch to fill up a gauge to release an AoE for extra damage. Use Bullet Punch repeatedly for lifesteal to maintain endurance in fights. Use Sizzler's Unite move, Red Illusion Dive, to single out an enemy, and then use its second activation for extra damage and hindrance. Sizzler's greatest strengths are its attack and endurance, so make sure to use the Focus Band along with held items that increase attack, such as Muscle Band, Attack Weight, and Weakness Policy. Scyther's best moves, Double Hit and Dual Wing Beat, both have 2 activations if you land the first hit. Use the second activations to dash away or deal extra damage to finish off an enemy. Scyther benefits from held items that increase crit rate, such as the Scope Lens and Razor Claw. You can also use the Muscle Band and Float Stone to increase attack and mobility. Scyther's move Double Hit can mark enemies, and if they are defeated, all of its move cooldowns will be reset. You can also mark enemies using Scyther's Unite move, Green Illusion Dive. If you're playing as Scyther or Sizzler, you can run in any lane, although Scyther tends to do better in jungle, and Sizzler tends to do better in top or bottom lane. In other news, Unite Club members this month will receive the Guardian-style Serena Hollowware. Also, another new Unite license, Clefable, will be available on October 13th. Additionally, Sableye and Zoroark have been announced for beta testing, however, no official gameplay or release date has been announced for either. That's all for Unite news this week, but before I go, here is a Pokemon trivia question for the week.
Who's that Pokémon?
In a certain Pokemon game, the trainer cannot release this species of Pokemon unless it is first traded to another trainer, evolved, and traded back.
Hey guys, Dragon Tamer Liam here, and I'll be your host for the Pokemon Masters EX segment of the Master Ball News Network. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy. To begin, this week saw the release of SS Wally and Shiny Gardevoir. From September 28th until October 31st, this new Pokéfair will be available to scout, and this is one unit you definitely don't want to miss. SS Wally not only boasts the Fairy Zone attack, which boosts the damage of Fairy-type moves when it is active, but is also the first unit to feature the new type rebuff mechanic, which causes units affected by the type rebuff to take a drastically increased amount of damage from attacks of that type. Wally will make a great addition to any Fairy-type team and pairs extremely well with Diantha and her Gardevoir. Best of luck if you decide to pull for this unit. Following Wally, we have a number of upcoming units that have been data mined. From October 3rd to October 24th, there will be a Spotlight Scout for Gordy and his Colossal. From October 5th to October 24th, there will be a Spotlight for Melanie and Lapras, and from October 7th to 24th, we'll be getting a Pokéfair Scout for Victor and Rillaboom at long last. For Halloween, we'll also be getting 3 units. We will be getting a free event character in Hex Maniac, starting from the 17th of October to November 13th, as well as 2 seasonal units, being Iris and Naganadel, and Alistair and Gourgeist, starting on October 17th and 19th respectively. This is shaping up to be a big month for Masters, so if any of these characters that I've mentioned sound like must-have sync pairs for you, don't wait. Start saving up now so you can make sure to pull them when they drop. In the events news, a reminder that the Legendary Gauntlet is currently ongoing, and will be until October 13th. This event is one of the best ways to get lucky cookies in large quantities, so don't forget to set some time aside to grind before the event comes to a close. If you're struggling against Cobalion, which is definitely the most difficult raid boss of this Gauntlet, my co-caster Meta has created a relatively free-to-play team that you can use to clear the stage. It consists of Ethan, Lyra, and Agatha. The link to the full battle and the team details will be posted in the description of this video. To finish off the Masters coverage for this week, we'll delve into a bit of controversy. Starting with the release of SS Wally, Dina has announced 5 out of 5 grid tiles. Now, instead of only needing to get a unit to move level 3 out of 5 to access all their skills, which is already a task many players found difficult who don't spend excessively on the game, this change will make being able to access a unit's full kit nearly impossible for players who aren't big-time whales. Many have accused Dina of getting greedy with this move, and are hoping to either see this change reverted, or for Dina to make adjustments to the game balance to ensure it is easier to get a unit to 5 out of 5, such as increasing the amount of move candy coins giving out during events, or decreasing the amount of move candy coins needed to get a move candy. What do you guys think about this change? Let us know in the comments. Are you for it or against it? And with that, we'll close out our coverage of Masters for this week. Thank you for watching our first segment. If you have any suggestions for future Masters coverage, don't hesitate to let us know. Now I'll send you over to Aquos for the merch news. See you guys next week.
What's in a can of Del Monte green beans?
Hello, Pokemon fans.
Welcome back to the Toaster. My name is Aquos, and as always, it is so nice to see everyone. Alright, it's time to begin. Guys, we got some extra crispy stories for y'all today. Let's start with a follow-up story I did last week. Ed Sheeran debuted the song Celestial on September 29th, and as of this recording, it is number 20 on YouTube trending for music. Judging by the comments, both Ed Sheeran and the Pokemon fans alike have an overwhelming positive response to the video. I want y'all to go check out Ed Sheeran's video and leave a comment below this one. Tell me how it is. In merch news, Pokemon UK released a giant Spheal Poké Plush for sale at the Pokemon UK website for £399 and 99 pence. They measure out to be 39.5 inches or a little over a meter tall. As of this recording, they are still available, so get yours today. Pokemon Center in Japan has gone crazy this week with the releases of new Pokemon clothes, hair accessories, earrings, and even more plushes. Check out the Japanese Pokemon Center website today for these. I know my time was short today, but I got a bonus story for you. Here we go. UFC announces that they plan to use items in their matches going forward. These items consist of Pokeballs, home run bats, and bumpers. One fan had this to say,
"Isn't this just Super Smash Brothers?"
While others, like the famous fighter Pogan Lol, he says,
"It's sad that they gave us items, cause now I'll beat them in the ring every day, bro."
And now, we go to an angry world champion Incineroar for his comment. And if you didn't read the context clues that this was a joke, bruh. That's all I got today. Time to head it over to Fire for that cash money stocks. See ya.
What's going on, guys? This is Fire Festival here with your daily stock tips. Now, I know last week I was giving you a little, little jokes around, but today we're going to actually be serious on what you should be investing in. So I'm going to move a little away from the TCG today and definitely talk to you about the actual console games. Personally, I own a vast majority of all the Gen 2 through 5 games, and I personally collect them and love to shiny hunt on them. Needing that, I need at least 4 of each game. Well, today I bring you a listing that came up of this bulk submission, and as we can see on it, this person has quite the lot of, we see emeralds, rubies, sapphires, gold, silver, crystal, red, and blue through here. I mean, these are the games everyone played in their childhood, and we all want them. As you can see, though, they're offering bulk prices. If we go to the Pokemon Ruby version, for example, down here, they're charging $69.99 a pop. Now, my personal opinion, every time I see a bulk listing, I typically think it's a scam from China. Not worth it. Looking at these, they look actually legit. But buyer beware, because with 2 seconds of research, mind you, I found a perfectly fine Ruby here for $48.99 with a dry battery. Replacing the battery is very easy. But for some of these listings, they're trying to move it and show you this price. I personally would not go with these listings. It's not worth it, especially, the amount of they're moving, to actually get customer service on it. definitely want an exchange of someone who's actually have a singular, game. And plus, you can see you almost get a $20 price difference on it. So, I mean, some of these prices are super inflated. We can just go with, Ruby, we see $20 higher. Leaf Green, they're charging $100 for. Fire Red, $120 for. Highly recommend not to go to any of these. Like, do your homework, shop around. Again, I've bought all my Gen 3 games for around $30 to $50, barring some of the market fluctuations, but highly recommend against buying from sellers like this. Do a little research, go on. The last thing I have to talk to y'all about this week is the Top Sun Charizard. Now, for some aficionados of TCG that might not know, this was the original print of Charizard on any Pokemon, quote-unquote Pokemon card ever. This was actually a vending series card that was exclusive in Japan. The price isn't shown up here just for the sake of not trying to confuse anyone, but the last sold was back in 2021, and it sold for $66,600, but no one confirmed that price, and it was apparently at auction. This Charizard from Heritage Auctions just sold back in September 23rd, excuse me, for $31,200. Now that is a $30,000 difference. Now, numbers are thrown around all the time in the community of, oh, this card's worth this amount in PSA 10, everything. Prices are only worth what the buyer is willing to pay. As we can see here, this is the quote-unquote holy grail of a Charizard card. It's not worth that much. When you hear people and video makers say all the time, oh, this is worth X amount of dollars, that's the last sold. We're not talking about, no one's setting a price bar. The price bar is whatever someone is wanting to have that card. So when you hear these big numbers like this, especially on the first edition Charizard, some of the other first edition cards, first edition Lugias, Skyridge cards, anything like that, please be mindful that you're not getting your whole money's worth back. Prices are set in this market based on what people are willing to pay for. This is the prime example. We know the first edition Charizard is going down dramatically as well. A PSA 9 just recently sold for $12,000, and that card was near $100,000 about a year ago. So please do your homework before you're doing anything else. Or, no one's buying this card because it's so rare and has the equity right now to buy it, but just please use caution in this market right now. We can even see just in small cases, people are charging, 50-60% above what's actually needed. But do your homework. I promise you, you won't regret it. Get some nice games, and everyone enjoy their time here. This has been Fire Festival with your weekly stock tips.
Thanks, Fire. What is up, Pokemon Go fans? Imagine you're at the Sky Pillar. You've been trying to catch Rayquaza for 3 hours now, and it just won't get in that Ultra Ball. Suddenly, you reboot your game, do a soft reset, throw away 70 Ultra Balls. First ball, gotcha. Rayquaza was caught. This might sound ridiculous, but this is exactly what Pokemon Go players all over the world have been trying to do to catch the legendary birds from the Daily Incense feature. Now, if you're an avid fan of Pokemon Go, you know that since they added the Daily Incense feature, these Galarian birds have been some of the most sought after Pokemon in the entire game. They're super rare spawns, and they have a 0.03% catch rate with a 90% chance to flee after the first ball. However, a couple weeks ago, someone made a post to Sizzler where they threw away a bunch of Pokeballs and then caught their Galarian bird on the first ball. Now, why would players think that this would be something that actually worked? A while back, the Silph Road did some research. When you throw balls during a raid encounter, does each ball have the same chance to catch? It was found that in fact, balls that are thrown later in the legendary encounter have a cumulatively increasing catch rate. The question was, if this works during raids, would it also work during wild encounters with legendaries? The Daily Instance is one of the first times that legendaries have been widely available in the wilds. One of the only other times being during the Johto Tour when Raikou, Entei, and Suicune were available in the wild. However, with how rare they were and the fact that nobody thought to do this, there's very limited data on whether or not this works in wild encounters. To make things even more troubling, legendaries have become even more scarce in Go Battle League, making it even harder to determine whether or not this actually works. And for that, I'm turning to you. If you find yourself with a spare 15 minutes, be sure to head out on a 15-minute adventure where you might just encounter one of these Galarian birds. If you do, start a screen recording, drop a couple of Pokeballs, and see if you're able to catch it. Whether you catch it or not, we'd love to see your submission on Twitter with hashtag MBNN, or you can send it into the Master Ball News Network email at masterballnewsnetwork@gmail.com. In other news, October is a really hype month in Pokemon Go, like I talked about last week. We've got new shiny releases for Xerneas and Yveltal. We've got an upcoming raid day for Mega Gyarados, which is the second ever raid day that we've had for a Mega Evolved Pokemon. And one of the questions that I'm going to be tackling in this episode is, should you raid? And the answer for Mega Gyarados is a resounding yes. If you like to raid, Mega Gyarados is a top water and dark type attacker. And if Megas were to ever be allowed in PvP, as they were during the interlude season, Mega Gyarados will be a top pick. However, for the time being, Megas aren't allowed in PvP, so I would definitely keep that in mind. Also of note, we've got Haunter Spotlight Hour on October 11th, which is going to feature 2x Stardust for an evolved Pokemon, which is not only going to give you 300 Dust, it's also going to give you XL Candy for a meta-relevant raid attacker, which again is going to be quite a tour de force if it's going to be allowed in the Master League in any point in the future.
Season 34 of Pokemon Sword and Shield rank battles has just wrapped up, and October's Season 35 is now underway. Notably, these two seasons that make up Series 13 have a rule set completely unlike anything we've seen out of VGC in the past, in that every mythical Pokemon that is allowed into the Galar region is eligible to participate in ranked battles. We've already seen some amazing strategies with these normally banned Pokemon, such as pairing Zeraora's Plasma Fists with Regielecki's Explosion for a massive electric-type blast. And with no limit on how many restricted Pokemon you can bring to these battles, Volcanion has been thriving alongside the likes of Kyogre and Groudon with its unique fire-water typing. Series 13 ends October 31st, so if you're looking to collect the Master Rank ribbon on any of your Pokemon, hop into the Versus spot in Pokemon Sword and Shield and aim for the top. Game Freak has also announced that after October's season is done, November's Series 14 will be the last series of Sword and Shield, which will last until the end of the service, which has yet to be determined, and will also revert back to the rules of Series 12, with no mythical Pokemon allowed and only 2 restricted species per team.
This is Wally. You can call me Polly, here to bring you news and information on all upcoming and ongoing Sword and Shield events. Some more good news for our European viewers, as the Pokemon Company has announced more locations they will be distributing the Shiny Eternatus event throughout Europe. For fans in the UK, France, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Greece, we'll have listed a wide variety of stores which will be sharing the codes from the dates of October 1st to November 17th. And lastly, and unfortunately not very exciting, a new pre-order bonus for Scout and Vine has been announced. With this pre-order bonus, you get berries. Yep, berries. Not any particularly good berries, just your average berries, Asper, Pecha, nothing to excite for, just berries. That's about all I can say about this pre-order bonus. Well, unfortunately that's all we have this week. This is Paul D. Oregon, signing off.
Thanks, Polly. Welcome back, card collectors. It is great to have you here. It has been a very exciting week in the Pokemon trading card game sphere, and we have a lot to talk about. We have leaks of new cards, a new set, and the Peoria Regionals happened this last weekend and were very intense. So let's dive right into it. First off, in regards to leaks, there's a card I'm really excited to talk about. Last week, we spoke a little bit about Unknown V-Star, where the unknowns spell out V-Star, but this week, the Unknown Altart was leaked, where this Unknown V card spells out Victory Symbol, which is its specialty move, where if the player uses it and only has one prize card left, they win the game. Additionally, Regidrago V and Regieleki V were leaked this week as well, with Regidrago V using his signature move, Dragon Energy. As a personal fan of this move and thinking it's like genuinely one of the coolest battle animations in the entirety of Sword and Shield, seeing it finally make its debut in the Pokemon trading card game really does excite me. We also saw leaks of the Regidrago V Alt Art and Regieleki V Max, but honestly, I'm not as excited about seeing Dragon Energy. Additionally, a new secret rare Lugia card was leaked this week, which is fine, but it makes me miss the days when secret rare cards had something special about them. This Lugia is not bad, but I kind of wish it was shiny or there was something unique about the card that would make it actually worth going after. Another leak this week revealed the Quadstone, a new trainer card that might shift the meta quite drastically. The Quadstone is a trainer card that allows players to play 4 of them at once, and if they do so, they can clear all of the damage counters off of every single Pokemon they have on the board. For those of you who don't know, you can only have 4 of a specific card in a deck, which means anybody who wants to use the Quadstone effectively is going to need to find ways to get all 4 of them into their hand at one time. But if they're able to do so, it could seriously turn the tides of battle. The final leak we have this week is for a new set. V-Star Universe seems to have leaked with sheets of trainer gallery or holo cards being visible on Twitter. These cards all look very high quality, and it looks like it's going to be a really nice way to send out the Sword and Shield set of the Pokemon trading card game before Scarlet and Violet release in just a few short weeks. On the competitive side of things, Peoria hosted the largest Pokemon TCG regional championships we have ever seen. With over 1,000 players, Tord Reklev was able to clinch victory with his Radiant Charizard deck. This is the second regionals we've seen in a row where Radiant Charizard has been a dominating force, and I'm certainly curious to see if that continues to be the case. Tord has now earned himself a trip to Yokohama in Japan for the Pokemon World Championships in 2023. If any of you are interested in learning how the Pokemon TCG works, the live streams of these events are most certainly worth checking out because the casters explain what's happening and it makes it very easy to learn. I'm going to drop the link to the finals in the description if you're interested in learning more about how you can actually do more than just collect the cardboard and maybe actually play with them. In the shiny hunting community this week, famous PokeTuber Candy Evie posted a video showcasing a Pokemon she got long ago. It was a shiny Wooper that she found after 68,851 encounters. She claims that at the time, this was a world record, or at least it's the highest number that had been documented at the time. Though this pales in comparison to a shiny that was found just this week by Majestic Pale. After over 84,400 encounters, Majestic Pale finally found his shiny Golduck in Generation 2. Another impressive hunt reached its conclusion this week when shiny hunter Noah Kyogre found a shiny Groudon costume in Pokemon Battle Revolution. This is their 3rd shiny costume in PBR and the 4th one to be found since Professor Tops claimed and kept the first one back in May. This is also the 6th shiny costume in Pokemon Battle Revolution to have ever been documented. What is very unique and exciting about this find is Noah was able to use a shiny Kyogre costume in his hunt for shiny Groudon, making it an extremely unique clip. And I'm going to drop the link to the tweet down in the description if you want to see more information or follow them, because they're continuing the hunt to try and collect the entire set of the costumes. Shiny costumes aren't the only cool shinies being found this week, with Lucky Sparkles tracking down a roaming shiny Raikou in Pokemon Soul Silver after 5,701 encounters. Personally, I am always a fan of people finding roaming shiny Pokemon, so this is definitely an exciting one. I'm going to drop the link to this and all of these other shinies down in the description. Finally, shiny hunter Professor Rex tracks down a 10% shiny Onix in Pokemon Leaf Green in the Rock Tunnel. This mad lad was using 16 unique consoles at once, which seriously never ceases to impress me. And with that, that's the news. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Master Ball News Network. It has been an extremely exciting week here in the Pokemon community, and I'm sure next week is going to be the same. So make sure you go and smack that subscribe button, drop a comment, let us know what you liked, what you disliked, and what we could do better in the future. If you're interested in submitting any stories for the Master Ball News Network, join the Discord with the link that we have down in the description. You can submit news stories for things you find are interesting in the Pokemon community, leaks, or shiny Pokemon that you've seen around on Reddit or Twitter or YouTube. We are always interested in seeing what's going on in the Pokemon community. Again, thank you all so much for dropping by, and we will see you next week.